Hi, my name is Mike. The name of my company is called Wornstar Media, and thank you for tuning in to a second last episode in this series and the steps that I go through in order to be able to shoot real estate video and photography for a client. So far you've seen everything along the way with regards to my history, with regards to drones, actual shooting at the house, both video, drone shooting, stuff like that. Second to last video, what we're going to do is we're going to transfer some raw video and raw pictures into my computer, and then we're actually going to get to developing some pictures. So thanks once again for tuning in. Thanks once again for tuning in. Once again, my name is Mike. I'm with Wornstar Media. So first step in the process, which is incredibly boring, this is the video side of things. So what I'm going to need to do is I need to bring some stuff into my computer from the shoot. So I need to get stuff off of my cards. All the stuff that I've done is going to be sitting on cards, of course. So I get the stuff off of my cards and get them inside my computer. This is an incredibly boring process, so I'm going to speed this one up. The software that I use to develop all the pictures is an industry standard software program called Lightroom. And what Lightroom is an Adobe product, and it basically allows me as a photographer to take raw images and to make them into exportable and usable JPEG images. It recognizes the fact that the images are not developed yet. It gives me the ability to set the white balance on the pictures that wasn't set already. I just shot an auto white balance, so basically I can have a look at all the pictures and set the white balance the way that I'd like. It gives me the maximum flexibility with regards to highlights and shadows and lots of information that I can extract. So that's why I shoot all the images in RAW first. And of course, if you've watched any of the other episodes in this series, you'll know that I shot everything in 3 and 5 levels of exposure. In the case of the drone photography, it was 5 levels. And in the case of the inside shots with my Canon, it was a series of 3 levels. So let's get all of the images that I put in the file folder inside, and then we're going to go look for Nicole's, and there's Wardlaw, and there's all of the pictures. And once again, I'm not going to bore you with having to wait for all of these to properly import. And there you go, all of the pictures that I shot today, all the photography I shot, whether it was from the drone or whether it was from my Canon camera, are all inputted into Lightroom into one file folder, from one file folder where I put all of the images. Most important step with regards to the pictures is to provide the real estate agent with their, lack of a better term, their cover shot, their very first shot. So what I do is I like to take a multiple amount of shots so that the real estate agent has choices with regards to what it is that they do. So these are the first outside shots that I took. Let's talk about what a preset is. I have a preset set up for the real estate that I like, and this is the preset that I use for the real estate shots. It's not perfect, it's not all ready to go, but it gets the kind of colors and the kind of look that I enjoy. Sometimes when you're shooting into the sun, things are a little bit bright, so that I can adjust things with regards to with regards to exposure and bring up the shadows or bring down the shadows depending upon how the shot is. I'm really happy if we have a quick look with regards to this outside shot. So that's before and that's after. So what you'll notice is if you want to have a quick look at the trees in the background and the sky is a little bit washed out. This preset allows for the highlights to be brought way down so that the trees get brought up into the background. I like to make the sky a little bit more teal than blue. So as you notice when we come in, I'm really happy with the way that looks. It's straight as I'd like to, so what I basically do is then export the shot. Pretty straightforward, 100% JPEG, and it puts it into a specific file folder that's called edited, so it'll drop that picture into a specific one. I've set it up so that it gives me a quick preview of what the picture looks like, and I'm satisfied with that shot. Super nice that we've got some green. Here's the next shot. I've zoomed in a little bit more, and we'll pick that same preset that I like. Let's drop the shadows a little bit, and let's drop the exposure a little bit. Looks to me like the picture is a little bit crooked, and I cannot stand crooked pictures. Hey, you know what? That's a really nice shot. Perfect, done. Another exported, another exterior shot. Soon, we're going to get to the interior shots where we've taken multiple exposures. All right, so here we've got the very first of the shots that are multiple exposures. The way that I showed you, the way that I went about exposing and the auto exposing bracketing, and there's 3 levels of exposure to the shot. So basically this is the standard exposure, and here's the dark one, and here's the bright one. So what I've done is what I'm about to show you is how I go about bringing these 3 shots in. This is the first of the 3 shots. Let's stitch these shots together. It's just as simple as me as hitting Control H. It gives me a preview and then sets up another shot on the left hand side of these three pictures. And there's the high dynamic range shot. One of the things that I'd like you to notice is all the lines are straight. Do you remember when we were talking about how I go about shooting the shots to make sure that the shots are level? If you want to have a look at the left hand side, it's pretty straight on that one. The wall in the middle is pretty straight, and the wall and the window on the right hand side is pretty straight. I'll tell you the couple things that I don't like about this picture right off the bat is the fact that it's a little bit more bright on the left hand side and it's a little darker on the right hand side, so I'd like to fix that. So I'm going to go into develop, and then I'm going to hit that same preset that I've got set up. I really like these colors, although I think I want to cool it off a little bit. Let's try 3600. I like that better. Now, this is what I want to do is if I want to have a look at, I'm bringing the shadows down to add a little bit of contrast. I really like the level of exposure on the left-hand side. So what I want to do is I want to grab a gradient filter on the left-hand side. I want to zero it out, and then I want to bring up the exposure on the right-hand side so everything looks nice and even. So there you go. That I like. Now maybe while I'm there on that one, I'm going to add a little bit of shadows, add a little bit of contrast. Now I'm pleased with that shot. With the exception of one thing, that window in the background, there's more information that can come in with that window in the background. So I'm going to draw a little circle in the back. I'm going to make that one, it's cool because I've set the exposure for inside, not on the outside, so it's a little blue on the outside. So let's make that one a little bit orange, add a little bit more warmth to it. Then I'm going to take the highlights down and then the shadows down and the exposure down a little bit. And now you can see a little bit more about what's going on outside that window as opposed to just a white glow. I'm not too concerned about this window on the left-hand side. But I am noticing that maybe that line isn't as straight as I would like it to be. So what I want to do is I want to grab a very simple tool, and what I'll do is I'll grab this line here and I'll put it down to the bottom of that window. The farthest right straight line would be this one. I know this is a little bit obsessive, but I like all the vertical lines to be very straight. And there you go. Now if we want to have a look, that line on the left hand side is nice and straight, and it's nice and straight to that window. This, in my opinion, is a finished picture. I'm pleased with the way that this looks. I think it represents everything fine. It's a nice first look at the place inside. Exported is 100% JPEG, and now I am done with that image. Do you remember we were talking about that one picture that's going to show the best example of what a high dynamic range picture can do? Please have a look at this one picture. This is a normal picture that somebody would take in real estate with their cell phone, and that's fine. If that's the level of representation that a real estate agent wants to do, take this type of picture, then that's completely up to them. I'm not saying that the only thing that we could do is take high dynamic range pictures, but here's what you get when you spend a little bit more and a little bit more time, hire a professional photographer in order to take some pictures. What you'll notice is the window, as I was talking about, is completely blown out. All it is a white glow, and there's really nothing you can do to bring it back. It hasn't been exposed to that outside window. It's been exposed to the desk. It's been exposed to the chair, not for that outside window. So if we have a look at the second shot, you can actually see throughout the window, but now everything's dark, right? And this actually exposes all of the detail and the shadows and stuff like that. So going back to what we were talking about before, we take these three pictures, we hit Control H, it sets up a merge in the pictures for high dynamic range. And that's the start of the picture, so we're going to merge, and it's actually going to take those three pictures, put them together in Lightroom, and it's going to create a third picture here on the left-hand side. Now, it's almost together, except, oh, there you go. Now you can almost see what's going on outside. Already, the picture looks better than just taking one picture, but it can be much better. So let's take that one shot, and we'll go into develop mode, and now we can go on inside, which is great. Take the highlights completely down, which is nice. I still am not happy with what's going on outside the window. I think there's more information that we can get. I'm happy with the white balance. I'm happy with the contrast and stuff like that. So now all I want to do is just work on bringing more outside from the outside windows. You can go too far with this step. It can look sort of fake. I don't like it to look fake. But so what we do is bring down the highlights. You'll notice more information is already being introduced without looking too silly. I'll take the shadows down, and I'm going to take the exposure down as well. So I think I might be able to get away with a little bit more at the bottom and a little bit more on the right-hand side. Now we can actually see what's going on. Let's see how much more information we could bring in there in the exposure on the left-hand side. Let's warm things up because it's a little cooler outside than it is in the inside. Let's right-click, duplicate, and we'll drag that and bring that over there. Now all of a sudden, look, the exact same little round gradient thing. Now we're going to take that and duplicate that one and bring it over to this window, and now you've got nice greenery and you can see what's going on outside. So if we're going to do a quick before and after of this shot, that's after and that's before, and that's after and that's before. I can only suggest one thing, that this is a far more attractive picture. I mean, this makes this desk and this office space look that much more inviting, that much more home, to be able to sit and be able to look outside the window and see all those trees and stuff like that going on outside. I'm happy with this picture now. I think I might want to cool it off a little bit. 3700, let's try that. No, it's too much. How about 3900? That looks good to me. Why is that sitting there? -3.8. Let's bring the shadows down in this picture a little bit to add a little bit more contrast, and now I am happy with that picture. Export, and let's see how we did. Here you go. I remember having a conversation with you when I was taking pictures about the importance of high dynamic range images, and this being another example of the importance of high dynamic range images. Let's just start off by having a look at this first picture. Again, this would be, you know, that being said, a nice straight picture, stuff like that, but very, very bright on the outside. This would be the type of picture that somebody would take with their cell phone if you could get all the lines straight. But let's see what we can do to bring out the information from outside. Take these three images and we'll highlight them all, hit Control H. It sets up a high dynamic range merge within Adobe's Lightroom. We'll merge these 3 pictures, go over to the one on the left, and you can already see more information is coming in from the outside. We can do better though. Now I'm not happy with the white balance of this image. It seems a little bit orange to me. Outside, I can bring more information out. So I'm happy with the white balance on the left-hand side. I'm not happy with the white balance on the right-hand side. So let's take a radial filter, and I'll put the radial filter in place in and around there. We'll zero out all the values, and we'll start doing this cooling off the side of the bedroom until I'm happy with it. Yeah, that's happy. Except for the only other thing is that I'm not happy with as far as the exposure is concerned. So let's bring up the exposure on the right-hand side. Perfect. Even though it's all too bright, it looks balanced with the left-hand side. So we can bring down the whole exposure of the whole picture now. Let's see, 1.3. Let's bring the whole exposure down to what did I just change to? 0.2. So I'm happy with that. Let's bring down the shadows. I'm happy with that shot. Let's bring down the white balance of the whole picture down to 3900. Oh, that looks really nice. All right, so there we go. Let's start bringing the information out from what's going on outside this window. So there we go. I like the white balance outside. It's not too cool, which is great. So let's bring down the highlights. Let's bring down the shadows. Let's bring down the shadows outside, and let's bring down the exposure. So now you can see more information on what's going on outside. Because I've set that up, we're going to duplicate that one and drag that one over to the right-hand side. Save myself a little bit of time and having to repeat the whole process and do it again. So there we go. So let's do a quick before and after. As far as this picture, that's before and that's after. If you have a look at the information outside the master bedroom, it makes it completely obvious that the patio outside is something that you can step out into. So this is something that might be that one picture that sells somebody on this home. They might just, oh my God, there's a patio on the outside. I really like that. Now, that being said, a little skylight thing going on in this bedroom as well, which just makes this bedroom absolutely glorious. Just love this bedroom. So let's export this picture. I took the exact same shot, again, except for with one of the patio doors open. It gives somebody a choice. Maybe you could just emphasize the fact that we could have both pictures in, but whatever the real estate agent decides as far as what pictures to put, but I took 2 pictures. So let's merge these 3 levels of exposure again. Okay, so that picture is now complete. Let's do a quick before and after. That's before and that's after. That's before and that's after. This is the first in the example of the drone shots that I took outside. So instead of 3 levels of exposure, it's actually 5 levels of exposure. Why not? I mean, outside has bright sky plus a lot of shadows. Might as well provide as much information as we possibly can. It really not that big a deal to provide 5 levels of exposure instead of 3. It doesn't cost me any more, time or anything like that. So might as well do that. The same sort of process takes place. You just highlight five pictures the same way as I've done before. And allow Lightroom to put those 5 pictures together. We're going to merge those. I think you can tell right away that my choice with regards to the drone, the DJI Mavic 2 Pro with a 1-inch sensor in it, and using that in conjunction with the, just look at that sky come and all of the detail come in that picture. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So let's take a second and have a quick look at this particular picture that I shot once again, 5 levels of exposure with my DJI Mavic 2 Pro. But here's the importance of shooting drone video. If you take a second, or drone photography, if you take a second and have a look at this picture, it's easy to see where the property exists. By now, those people that are flipping through the pictures are easily identify where the property is. Look how close that river is. If somebody wanted to go for a walk and take their dog for a walk, or their kid, or wanted to go fishing, if you wanted to, I mean, it would be just a matter of leaving your home and walking down that street. There's a train right there that might be nice for pictures. It's nice and old and rustic. Look at all the old trees. I just don't know, without a drone, how anybody could get this type of message across with regards to the location of this property. So I've taken these pictures, I've highlighted them once again, I hit Control H, so let's put these pictures together. And with this last picture, we're all done with the pictures that I took today for Nicole Milner of Remax, this particular property. I hope the information that I've provided has been informative. Before I get done, I want to show you how I go about sending these pictures off to the client. I have WeTransfer tab set up. And that's how I transfer all the information or all the multiple files. I got to tell you, it's the simplest file transfer service that I know. People like Dropbox and stuff like that, which makes you put another drive on your computer. This isn't like that at all. Nicole on Wardlaw, here's all the edited pictures up here. So it's just a simple matter of me to grab all of these pictures, and I wonder how many pictures I actually took for her. She's probably not going to use all of them. There's some choices, but there's 31 pictures. Frankly, I usually do something like 50 or 60 pictures, but this particular property wasn't huge. Simple matter of putting Nicole's information, Nicole Milner's information in there. Let's tell her that it's pics and not the video. 368, I think is what it was, in Wardlaw Avenue. But just so that she knows that I'm on the ball, I like to, because I've got my phone hooked up for text messages, edit, copy on my desktop as well. There's Nicole, here's the last message that we got from Nicole. Right click, copy, paste, pics on their way, comma, 368 Wardlaw, video next. Perfect. Let's have a quick look at the pictures before we end this episode. Let's just scan through the pictures. Where are they? We'll go through the drive. They're sitting on my Samsung drive. Oh, it's getting full. Photography and real estate. And Nicole's on Wardlaw, which is good. Edited, and there we go. So there's the outside pictures. Give her a choice of the way the pictures look outside. There's out back, couple of pictures of the deck. There's inside. You can see outside the window. I like that, a little closer up. Now you can really see outside the window from that desk. Again, you can see outside the window from the back, which is nice. Kitchen shot. Oh, that bedroom looks killer. Nice. Washing machine with a bathroom. 2 pictures of the bathroom. Again, you can see outside the window. And then we've got some drone shots outside with a nice river view. Let everybody know how far away from the river you are. Okay, now, look, the people that have watched this video, you're going to fall into a pile of categories. Number one, if you're interested in photography and you learned a little bit about high dynamic range pictures and how to go about putting them together in Adobe Lightroom, then I'm super happy to provide you this information. If you've got any questions, then by all means, comment section below, just like every other person that puts videos together suggests. Comments below in the comment section, whatever. Anyway, there's another person, the kind of person that might do is is Nicole herself or any other real estate agent that I provide real estate services for, she might, hey, what am I getting for my money? I hope this has been some sort of explanation about the level that I go into or the detail that I go into with regards to taking and developing pictures. Another person might be a real estate agent that's not doing business with me, that's interested in utilizing my services. Give me a phone call, no problem. It's Mike from Wornstar Media, 204-770-6440. I'm usually on, my phone's usually near, so I'll get back to you within an hour for sure. There's competition. I might have taught my competition in Winnipeg something about how it is that I provide services, and frankly, I'm okay with that. There might be another, real estate agent might be thinking, hey, why isn't my photographer that I'm paying money going to this level of effort? Well, my name's Mike. I'm from Wornstar Media. Give me a phone call. Happy to provide you with services. This ends this episode with regards to the steps that I go through with regards to developing pictures that I take for real estate. Thanks so much. Look in the comments or the detail section below for other episodes in this series, and thanks so much for watching.